Okay, Math Marbles, we're going to start with our last lesson, which is starting from this table, and I'm going to add on to it and show you how to make ordered pairs that you can graph. So let's start by reading the question. Joey makes a protein drink with 4 ounces of yogurt and 8 grams of protein. Let's create the table. We did this in the last lesson, so 4 8s is already there. I'm just going to use my multiplicative pattern to multiply and make bigger ones. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and I'll just do these on the bottom. And there you go. I have bigger ratios. And to get my simplified ratio, I'm going to use my greatest common factor, which is 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I have a table. So just from that, I have tons of equivalent ratios. And if we were writing them as fractions, we would stop here. However, we're going to write them as ordered pairs. So we're going to take each of those points, those fractional ones, and we're going to write them as a pair. And they're going to look just like when we use the colon. So our first ordered pair is just going to be 1, 2, followed by 4, 8, 8, 16, and 12, 24. Now, there's some things I want you to look at and notice about these ordered pairs. There is a relationship between these two numbers. Think about, can you notice them? What is the relationship you notice between X and Y? And just look here. Between these two numbers here, do you notice any pattern? Well, you'll probably notice that whatever the X is, if you multiply it by 2, you get the Y. Remember those input-output tables that you would have, like those rule tables where you would see, they would give you something like a box. You would put in a number like 1 and it would do something and you would get 2 on the other end and you had to figure out what was the box doing. And if I put in 4 and out comes an 8, what is the box doing? And you would figure out, oh, the box is multiplying by 2. That is what's happening here. There is always a relationship between the 2 points when you have a rate. In this case, we're taking the yogurt and we're doubling it. The amount, whatever the amount of yogurt, we're doubling that amount to figure out the protein. So there's typically some type of relationship between X and Y in a ratio. And you're going to see that when we're graphing it. Now, we actually graph them here, and places where kids make a lot of mistakes, they usually, remember where we have to walk. When there's a fast break, we run down the court before we jump. So just remember that when you go X and then Y. I also want you just to notice that my Y's are going by 2s consistently on this graph. So just look at the scale. I've already put down a lot of these points. So we have our 1, 2, our 4, 8, our 8, 16. And there's a point here that is not on our table, 10, 20. We can actually check to make sure that these are proportional by just comparing them this way. Or you can look at our rule. Would you say that we have twice as much protein as yogurt? Yes, you can. So you can see that here is my yogurt, here is my protein. We have twice as much protein as yogurt. So other things to notice, you'll notice that anytime we graph a rate or a proportional relationships, they will be linear, meaning those points are going to be in a straight line, and they're also going to start from 0, 0. So these are 2 things I want you to look at on our points. All our points will go into a straight line. You can see that here. They align up together and starting from 0, 0. Okay, but now you know how to go from table to the points. So let's go into the next part. We already had this part here. Let me just fill this out super fast. And just looking at our table point here, when we have 1 gram of protein, how much yogurt do we have? How many grams of protein are in 1 gram of yogurt? Grams of protein for 1 yogurt. That means just look here. So when we have 1 in the yogurt, we have 2 proteins. So 2 grams of protein. So we just find that information on the table. How are these two numbers related to each other? for every 1 gram of yogurt, there is 2 grams of protein, or double the amount of yogurt. So that's how they're related to each other. What does 10-20 mean? Well, 10 just means there are 10 yogurts for every 20 proteins. Nice and easy. And looking at our equivalent ratios, how are they similar? Well, each of these points you can see has the same relationship we talked about. Where each point shows there is twice the protein as yogurt. We can see it. We can see it very, very clearly just on our chart here from every single point. So pause there so you can jot it down. And you'll probably see other relationships. So let's go and take a look and see what this looks like. All right, so we're going to start with 2 for 5. We're going to complete the table. And we're going to figure out which one of these has the same ordered pairs. So we've read the problem. This is absolutely an RP problem because it has a rate. Our important information, we have a 2 to 5 as our initial rate. And my solution is to complete the table. And then we're going to look for the points. And we're going to eliminate anything that doesn't work. So all I'm going to do is complete. Here are my points. And now let's just see which one matches. I will tell you the 2 things that kids get wrong. They either don't check off our points. So check, here are my tips for you. Check all points. And make sure you're doing XY, meaning you're checking the right one. And I'm also going to give you an extra one with this one. We're also going to notice that 0, 0 happening. All right, so with the first one, here's our first point, 2, 2, 5. And it's not on the line, so I don't have to keep going. It's not there. Let's go to the next one. Ooh, next one starts at 0, 0. So 2, 5. Ding, 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 matches. 4, 10. Ding, ding, ding. So this one is 6 and 15. Good. And the little arrow is pointing to 8 and 20. So far this one looks good, but I want to keep going just to double check the other ones. I'm going into C, and automatically I notice it's not starting at 0, 0. So it's definitely not proportional. But let's look at the points. So 2, here's 5. It's close. This is one that they try to really trick you with, because this point is actually 2, 6. So no. All right, let's go to D. It is also not starting from 0, 0, so it's not a proportion. But they do have the first point, 2, 5. And the next point looks like it is 4, 8. That does not match our second point of 4, 10. So no, this one doesn't match either. All right, so we are very confident in our choice of B. So we're going to stop there so you can jot this down into your notes. A great job, Math Marbles. Look how we used our table to make points, to check if they are proportional. And we now know how to recognize proportions on a graph. They should be linear. They should start at 0, 0. And every single point should represent a relationship, a particular relationship in the problem. So great job, Math Marbles. We will see you in the next lesson. Bye.